Kristina, subscription box. Let's talk. I really want to talk to you about that. Palak, I'm a golfer. So I do try to break through the golfing men's world thing a little bit when I can. And because of that, I had a great opportunity come to me a couple months ago with a product-based business looking to do collaborations. And he and his business has 1.25 million followers and drops. So stuff like that comes up because of relationships. I didn't golf with him, but the point is, you're right, your relationship building. I know it's super, super cliche that your network is your net worth. I know that. But I teach at Arizona State University as adjunct faculty, and something that is amazing to me is when we're teaching the students about networking, and that's really cringy, right? So much it's like networking and relationship building feel different. However, every time I'm teaching, I tell the students, connect with me on LinkedIn, ask me anything, I'm here to support you. I literally have 2, maybe 3 that do it. It's shocking. It's so shocking. So I encourage everyone here to really connect with everybody in all ways, because it is truly planting those seeds for relationships. And you never know. Another great example is Alexandra. I'm going to give you a shout out. Literally, I was talking to her earlier today and Bine, and I had something show up in my text messaging that this one company is looking to partner and give somebody a ton of visibility. They have to be in beauty, they can't have sold on Amazon, and they have to have a certain amount in revenues. And she fit all 3 things. And I was standing there, it showed up, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I know the person. Like right now, this is happening right now in real time. You just don't know. So the biggest thing is stay open. Like really be in receiving mode. Not scarcity, receiving mode. It's really impactful.
Can I add something to that? I would not have social media if it weren't for the DMs. The only reason I'm on the apps is for connection. That's just my personality. I love the connection. Who you see online is who you get in person. But to your point about no one messaging you on like 2 or 3 people, that's shocking to me. I was at South by Southwest 2 weeks ago, went to a bunch of panels. Like, you're in the room with amazing founders and CEOs, and literally a panel like this, and if it was someone that I admired, like I had my book in my hand, I was writing personal notes while they're talking in the book to give them copies. I would go up to them after and be like, hey, can I just chat with you for a sec? There wasn't one person that was like, no, sorry. They were there. I was at one of the women's events, and they're there to support you. And the people I didn't get a chance to talk to immediately messaged them on LinkedIn after. And I would send video messages. I'm sending voice notes. I had people with millions of followers responding back, and I'm asking them for branding advice. And they did it. So if you're scared and wondering, I don't think I have accessibility to actually reach out to that person, just do it. You're literally going to lose nothing, and you might gain everything.
One of my mentors talks about this all the time, about how when you listen to a podcast, just posting it and posting that you were listening to it and just starting that conversation, that has gotten Maria and I into so many spaces that we literally just don't belong in at all, and because somebody's wow, that's so great that you're everyone is doing something, or the things that they're doing it. There is a level of they want affirmation, right? So even some of you, I'm like, are you guys having fun? Are you having a good time? Did you get enough treats? Are you feeling good about that? What do you think of the bag? Is the bag heavy enough for you? But it's I'm I really would like for you to tell me that this is good, but that's natural human nature. And so even the people who you look on stage and who are maybe they have 1 million followers or whatever it is, they're also going to these events and they're speaking, and they're also hey, I wonder if that landed. I wonder if that person actually listens to my podcast. I feel I'm putting in the grind right now, and I don't know if people are picking up what I'm putting down. And it takes one message for you to start a relationship with someone. And I've heard of so many people. I was just going to talk about this really quick. Carlyn, something that I noticed, has anybody paid for a coaching program before? Yeah? Okay, good company. I have paid for coaching programs where I've never spoken to the coach. Never. And because I'm I don't know, I'm not through all the material yet, or I don't know if my question kind of sounds stupid. I don't know if I should do this. And then by the end of it, I'm kind of I should have utilized that, because they actually want you to utilize it, right? They're offering coaching programs because they want to coach. And yet we're so nervous to ask these questions. And there's so many amazing collaborative opportunities that can come from doing that. So I think if you're ever in a room like this, if you go to a retreat, if you're in a mastermind, something that we've made a practice has been, I will literally message every single person in that mastermind with my calendar link. And I'll say, hey, I'd love to connect, and here's my calendar link. no pressure. I'm not going to like hunt you down, but I would love to chat with you. And people are always so grateful. And I lead with, what are you looking for right now in your business? What could I be most helpful with? Sometimes it is social media and podcasting, and that's a big win. But sometimes it's not. And it's, hey, I'm looking for a website. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, have you met Carly? Have you met Jeanette? I'd love to make an intro for you. Or have you met this person? Like, you're able to really make those referrals. So in that, I have one last question, and then I think if we could like speedily answer it so we can bring it to the crowd, that would be awesome. But what advice would you, and this is a long-winded one, so I'm really taking up real estate. What advice would you have for someone who's growing their business and doesn't feel like the opportunities are coming to them for these relationships? So they're feeling like they don't have access to the golf course, access to the people. I also don't think everything has to be pay to play. I think there's lots of free things you could do, but I'd love to hear from you. Like, what would you say to someone who feels like they don't have the access?
I can start. I would say, think about a business or a person that you admire and somebody that you're like, you just respect what they do, and then tap into their network of people. So if you feel like you don't necessarily know how to like directly access, just look at what somebody else is doing and see, like even something as simple as going on LinkedIn and being like, who is somebody else connected to that could potentially help me? It doesn't always have to be your immediate circle, because people are sometimes scared to ask. You know people and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should reach out to them. And it's like, because you know them, just go once removed. It's like if I meet Stacy and then I'm like, okay, who's in Stacy's network that potentially I could actually work with or collaborate with? It's like, tap into that. I've actually offered that to people where I'm like, when someone asks me a question and says, hey, can you help me with this? And if I can't do it directly, I'm like, go through my LinkedIn contacts. If there's someone that you see that you might benefit from an introduction to, then just let me know and then I'll intro you. So it's just a great way to go like once removed, because there's so much more than your immediate network that you can leverage.
Love that.
I would add to that, and I'm going to go and reflect on today's speakers already. Take the risk. So let's pretend today we all feel like we don't have an opportunity, or we don't have exposure to an opportunity. Kristina has created this beautiful weekend for us, so we're all at zero, right? Today, find an opportunity that's going to make a difference for you. Over the next 24 hours, like Imbal gave us a starting point as well, pretend that we all have 24 hours, right? We're all starting with the same amount. Everybody go find an opportunity while you're here at Kristina's event to change that. It's up to you. So you've put us in a great room with brilliant minds. We can do this. We've got you.
Woo!
You stole my answer. No, I was going to say there's no more excuses. Like, look around. There's 140 connections here. But I will say, and this is, I think, a common thread of everything we've been saying, is that we can put you in a golf course. We can put you in a locker room. We can put you in a room with 140 other women. You still have to go talk to them. And you still have to do the thing and make the ask and be comfortable talking about yourself and be comfortable sharing your successes, be comfortable making an ask. That is the hardest part. Right? So even if we put you in those situations, and I suspect a lot of you are already in those situations where you have the opportunity to leverage people around you, and there are people around you who really genuinely want to help you, you just need to do the thing. Yeah. Either it's through social or it's in person, leveraging a community you already have or trying to access one that you really need. Mm-hmm. It's at some point, if you look around, you're probably closer to that space than you think you are. So yeah, take advantage 100% and have the conversations and get really comfortable talking about yourself and asking for what you need to succeed.
Amazing. We have time probably for 2 questions. And I know my friend Jen's going to be a mic runner. And so are there 2 people that might have questions? Looks like Nikki has a question. And then Diana. Okay. And then for those of you who felt like I just shunted you, you will get your time. You get with these women, I promise.
Lovely. One of my guiding principles in life and in business is the concept of FAFO, F-A-F-O. I'm going to fuck around and find out. Life is an experiment. I want to have some fun. When it comes to community building, I was like, where have y'all FAFO'd? Like, because I think sometimes with community, it can go very, very wrong as a facilitator of a community in a way that can be unsafe for other people to participate or too scary. So when it comes to experimentation and trying new things, what do you think has been kind of that most valuable aha moment that came from, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it and I'm going to see what happens?
Well, I like that. I like you. I'm writing that down. Also like your necklace. I I think we need to define what community means for you. Community could be 4 people, and that's all you need to serve your purpose in life. Community could be one person that continuously has your back and gives you what you need to go out there. I think sometimes this is the old conversation. It's like, do you need 50 best friends or do you need one? Do you, I think you just need to figure out what community looks like for you, because you, to a certain point, have to nurture your community. And if it's a full-time job nurturing community, and you could still love it, but it could be still all-consuming and take you away from your ultimate purpose and not align with your values, I just think it comes back to figuring out, like, I have 990 something followers on Instagram, hopefully 1,000 after today.
Hey guys,
I don't
please.
have a lot of followers, right? Thank you so much. Yes. Right. But oh, thank you. I do. Okay.
Woo! 1,000.
Nobody would be more excited than my husband, who asks me all the time, "Did you get more followers today?" And just for the record, he's not on any social media, so he has no idea what he's talking about.
Aww.
So, when I left the corporate role, I built a 6-figure business in less than 6 months with a couple hundred people on Instagram. And most of those people were related to me, or I told them to follow me. So I just think you need to figure out who is your community and nurture. And it doesn't have to be big. It just has to be good. And you will get more out of a good community than a really, really big one. So redefine it and make sure it suits you.
I mean, I love the term that you use, because that's like all I do all the time. So I guess if that's what we're calling it, I'll take it.
Let's get t-shirts. We'll put one in the box.
Yeah. It's going in the subscription box.
I think the joy of building a community is that you get to do exactly that. You get to just try things because they're your people that you found and you cultivated this relationship with. So that is all I'm doing. I'm constantly testing. I'm constantly getting feedback. I started off being like, I'm an in-person community. I've done in-person events, sort of added an online component. I do monthly connection calls with them, added a guest speaker, and then I was like, too much online, gonna go back to in-person. Like, I'm constantly just seeing what works, polling them, asking them, like doing 15-minute calls each month. And funny enough, those are the things that are booked out most, is a 15-minute call with me. That's like what everyone shows up for. And I'm like giving them a brunch, and it's like, do you want this or do you want a call? So you never know. You just don't know. You have to try. And I think that's with every business, whether it's community building or not. That's how you're gonna find exactly what works for you.
I would agree, and I feel like Queen's Gambit. Just for the record, I'll be at Starbucks tomorrow morning at 8:30 answering any questions. So that's my gift before we all get to shop. So show up at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I'm happy to also talk details. I feel like Queen's Gambit with you right now. Like, I can see all these pieces dropping in for you, which would be take your 15-minute calls like you talked about, start having those conversations, circle back around with those humans and say, hey, do y'all want to just jump on a call together? Like, let's just get started. Like, well, let's do Thursday night at 4, Zoom or otherwise. And then it just kind of starts. It's super interesting how that'll help get it going, but you just have to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I love how we were scared to say heck at the beginning of this, and now we're like full tilt into, I'd love to fuck around and find out. Like, awesome. Yeah, Dana.
Hello, hello. Yes, hi. I'm so happy to be here. I flew here from California. Everybody's wonderful. I love this room, this energy. This has been fabulous. So thank you for having me. Oh, hi, everybody. My name is Diana Lunzer. I turn founders into productive powerhouses. And I have a question for you lovely ladies. It's on habits. So loved what you chatted about earlier around like our future self. I think everybody here has a future self and we want to be her now. And I think that starts with habits, right? So I'm so interested to hear from you ladies. What is your top, like, most transformative habit that you've implemented since becoming an entrepreneur that has helped you be her now?
How do you pick one?
Yeah, I have so many. That's like, I can share. Okay, similar to what we were talking about earlier on, you become an entrepreneur and then you're like, why am I working 24/7? I did this for the freedom and flexibility. I try and take Monday mornings to myself. So that's been amazing. I block off my calendar till 11 a.m. I'm like walking my dog for an hour, having coffee with my husband, hanging out, like owning that time because I want to remind myself that I created this dream life for me. So that's been great. Try and do it on Friday afternoons too, but we're working on it. The other one is to create before I consume. So when it comes to my phone, I have really healthy boundaries around it. I do not keep my phone in my room. I don't want to be checking it first thing in the morning. I need to tap into my own creativity before I'm sitting there and consuming all the noise that comes at me. So just like I don't check it for like 2 hours in the morning until I'm done my whole morning routine and all that jazz. And then when I get to work, it's like part of my work. So I'll check it then.
Great question, Diana. You could see we all paused. We're like, oh, holy hell. On that note, it'll be 6 years in November. I drink 35 ounces of water every morning before I get up, like before I do anything. Sometimes with lemon, sometimes when I feel like it. But hydration for me is so important. I'm on like Zoom or on these calls or like trying to be present. And from a health perspective, I'm hoping that that's like in line with what you would, thank you. I needed that reaffirmation. I appreciate that because it's been a lot. Sometimes it's really hard too. I'm like, oh, I want the coffee so bad. And I'm like, no, I have to drink the water first. So it's real. And the second thing is I've actually set a phone alarm and I checked to make sure it was off today for like incremental times throughout the entire day, because otherwise I seriously sit at my computer like this the whole time. And I'm like, Zoom call. And then I'm like, another Zoom call. And then returning, emails. And I never stand up. You guys, I never stand up. I don't walk outside. I don't do anything. So I've set that phone alarm on purpose to make sure that when it goes, it's very like 5 times throughout the day, I stand up. Really important for me to get out and walk outside for a hot minute.
Just get an Apple Watch. It'll tell you how lazy you are. Just like, oh, you're sitting still? Yeah. Yeah, love both of those. Totally agree. I'm so diligent with my calendar. Even when I had a corporate job and I had an assistant, I was like, do not touch my calendar. I would make sure, workouts are really important to me. If I can't work out, I want to move, I want to walk. I prioritize the things that matter to me, and then I build my life around it. And people may think, how do you do that? Well, I live with someone who also runs a business. I'm married to him. And he prioritizes his business so much, and that's the most important thing, that he's like forgotten to pick our kids up at daycare. Because it's, he doesn't want to say to someone, sorry, I have this more important thing I need to go do right now. So you prioritize the things that matter to you most in the calendar. And I do those things first always. Blocking off, just proactively blocking off Friday afternoons till the end of time. And if something comes up, sure, making time for it. I also think that it's fuel. It's, ladies, we don't eat enough. We don't eat, properly. It's prioritizing that. Like eating lunch should not be a luxury. Even though I'm seeing heads nod. I'm sure it is for a lot of people. Like, what a treat to eat lunch today. I think that, I also prioritize eating because I know how terrible it's made me feel. And the last thing is sleep. I've made sleep my number one priority, and trying to get to bed early, even though it seems like I'm an old lady, and I try to do all the things to protect my sleep, but it's made all the difference in helping all those other things work. So between sleep, good eating habits, and calendar blocking like a crazy person,
Amazing. Well, can we give it up for these ladies and all the knowledge that they shared? Amazing. I just want to say, just very quickly before I pass it on to Maria to kind of introduce our next speaker and wrap this, I am just so grateful to all of you, because I think, community, and we talked about finances, we talked about networking, we talked about all of these pieces. They're all so important in business, and I think we need like strong role models of like whether people are behind us in business or ahead of business to be able to look to be able to build amazing communities and be able to live the most in our purpose. And I think of all three of you when I think of that. So thank you so much, and so excited to spend the rest of the 2 days together.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Community with me, Kristina Bartold, and I'm just so excited to continue the conversations. If you're looking to grow your community and learn more about social, join us at thesocialbusinessclub.ca and use the code podcast to get your first month for $1. Share this episode with your friends and on social, or leave a review. It means the world.